Everybody, hope you're doing well. Give me a second to log everybody in. Let's see. All right. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to promote you, so give me invite all. Not sure what that means, but that's not what we're doing. I'm going to promote you. Okay, let the promotions begin. Hey, Betty, good to see you. Good call today. Brianna, another good call today. Good to see you too, obviously. Kai, good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're on the team. Colin, good to see you. Hopefully things are doing well up in beautiful Ontario. Hey, Colin, my understanding is things are still sort of in lockdown mode up there. And I've got to get up there somehow, some way, sometime. I guess I'll go and check the border crossing rules and restrictions.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff going on.
They're still not recognizing the people who've been vaccinated, you know? It's kind of crazy because we have a couple of friends where I am now out there from Newfoundland, and their numbers are way better than Ontario. Of course, it's just more, higher population, obviously. But they're saying they have tourists going up to Newfoundland, and they think whatever a few cases are getting are coming from the tourists. So interesting. Okay, let's see. I think that's everybody promoted for now. Good to see you guys.
Hey, Gary, we're listening to Jay-Z Jazzy Jeff in EXP World.
Oh.
We are family.
Oh, that's funny. So there's still, I thought that
wonderful.
thing. So there's still, how late did they go till?
I think it's just ending, but how really cool. It was actually like being at a live convention, and it was, and they ended with a concert, and he was right there, and we all got to dance. It was really cool.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really impressed.
That sounds good to me. I was going pretty much full throttle today, so I didn't even have a chance to log in.
Oh man, really good. Good information.
Good. Let's we got a couple more. Christina, good to see you. Melanie, good to see you. Great call today, Melanie. So I'm glad we finally broke the ice on our one-on-one, so it's good. Hey, well, I'm sorry, what's that?
I said thank you. I appreciate your one-on-one.
Oh, you're welcome. And any more progress since then on the getting other information? And
I reached out to a lender, and they had to put me in touch with somebody else, but I haven't connected with them yet. So that's kind of where I am. And then I was working on the numbers for the other piece that we talked about. So I don't have it finalized yet, but I'm working on it. So.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, good things come to those who gather the information, So yeah, I think you're doing the right thing, and hopefully this will work out for you. I'd be happy for you, So that's a big step in positioning you for, quite frankly, you don't really care what the economy does because you've got a population of people you're serving that's continuing to grow for foreseeably the next 30 years,
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll be one of them.
Yeah.
That's my kids. Where do you want to go? I want to go to Melody Abraham's place. That's where All right. Hey guys, if you haven't, hey Rob, I just want to check it on you. I think, did you set up a one-on-one, Rob, for this week or next week? Seems like I saw one.
Nope.
Okay. Can you go ahead and do that?
Yep.
Because we don't want to let you get, the old saying, Rolling Stones gather no moss,
That's right.
So,
yep,
all right.
I'll get that done.
Hey, by the way, guess where I'm going to be on Saturday?
Where are you going to be on Saturday?
I'll be at the soccer fields outside of Monticello Lakes watching my great niece and great nephew play soccer games. So
yeah, nice.
I'll be a stone's throw from you.
Yeah, you will.
Yep. So yeah, definitely set up another call so we can keep the momentum going. I think you got a closing coming up too. Is that right?
Now that changed. Now it's June 4th because we kicked out the first contract. So I have to figure out how to get that canceled, and sky's slope. I sent Virginia transaction folks an email early this morning. Still haven't heard back on how to take care of all that. So I will check with them tomorrow.
Yeah, do the chat on SkySlope at the top of the screen. There's a symbol of the head with the headphone on it.
Yeah.
You know, they're easy. They're great. Just contact SkySlope directly that way. You'll get it done a lot faster.
Okay. I got it's under a new contract, but I still got to figure out how to get one out and the other one in.
Well, if you leave them both in there, you just get paid twice. That's how it works, you know?
Yeah. If only that were the case.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome aboard. It's hard to believe it's May 17th. I'm like, man, we're going to be at the half year mark before we know it. But what I want to do tonight, and this goes back to some of the survey questions we got responses on. Thank you very much for that. Is how do you find the right kind of investor? And I'm definitely going to give you some marketing campaigns you can do. We'll probably do 2, maybe 3 if we get lucky, that you can use directly related to attracting the right kind of investors. This is so important. And I've been in the business a long time. I know some of you have too. But one of the biggest complaints when I first got in the business was, agents, traditional residential agents, as soon as you say, hey, I'm an investor, I'm working with investors, they will go, ooh, and I know why, because I experienced the same thing when I first started. Even though I was an investor, I was attracting anybody and everybody. It was just random. Whoever came to me, that's who I work with. Anybody know what I'm talking about? We call it accidental marketing. So please write this down or just remember it. And this is one of the quotes I can claim credit for. And it's this: the transactions you're working on and the clients you're working with are a direct result of the marketing you're engaged in or the lack thereof. What that means is, if you don't have specific targeted marketing and to attract the people you want to attract, be intentional about it, you're just going to get a random sampling. It's the analogy of the casting a net when you're net fishing versus having the right rod, the right reel, the right line, the right hook, the right bait, going out on the right boat with the right fish finder. That's targeted fishing. You literally bring up what you want to bring up, wahoo, tuna, whatever you're fishing for, that's what you get. But if you cast a wide net, you're going to get tin cans, toilet lids, boots, tires, a crab, and a fish. Okay. And that's not what you want. You want really good bona fide investors. So it's the first thing to write down is that quote. The next thing is this: historically speaking, this is what we can determine to be the best group of people to fish with, to fit the pond to fish in, to get the best investors. And for me, the number one group was dentists. Just put dentists down there. I promise you can't go wrong. Dentists is one of the groups. Chiropractors were another good group. Okay, not as prolific as a dentist, but pretty darn good. Teachers was a really good group. Awesome. It's crazy. You wonder why teachers? Well, I think the reason is, for the most part, they work very hard. Okay, I come from a family of teachers. They do work hard. But let's face it, they have more flexibility in the summertime. So they can work on properties. They can build decks. They can flip homes. And that's generally what you do, okay? Let's see, military, really good. My gosh, you've got Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and if you're Dana Truman, you got Coast Guards, okay? Coast Guardsmen, call them Coasties. And for each of those branches of service, you've got active duty, and you've got reserve, and you've got retired. So 3 times 5, that's 15 different subgroups related to military folks, okay? And I used to do pretty good business with military folks, and all I did was in Stars and Stripes magazine, I would put in there, instead of the usual business card type ad, which every other agent was doing, I literally just put in there, specializing in military real estate investors. That's what I did. And I started getting calls, oddly enough, not from so many military folks, but from the realtors they were working with in Vegas at the air base there, in Germany at the air base there, different naval bases, saying, hey, my client saw this. He wanted me to check you out. He wants to invest in Norfolk or whatever. And I get some referral business that way. It's crazy. I did get an occasional actual military person looking me up directly, and a couple of them I still stay in contact with. any case, that really wasn't one of the marketing campaigns. I just wanted to tell you that that's one of the key groups to target. So we got dentists, chiropractors, teachers, military, engineers is an awesome group. And this is gonna sound crazy, but take a wild guess how many different types of engineers there are in the world. Different types of engineers, just guess. Call it out.
One.
What's that? One. 452 different types of engineers.
Wow.
They're one of the most populated industries, business sectors in the world, colleges and universities. I remember one time one of my college roommates, his younger brother went to Clemson to study ceramic engineering. I said, is that really a thing? They said, yeah. Think about all those power lines and all those connections. Those connections are made out of ceramics, and they have to withstand a lot of vibration, high heat, all this stuff. It's an entire engineering body of knowledge. So engineers are awesome, especially if they own their own consulting practices. Electrical engineers, civil engineers, all kinds of engineers. It's just, the mechanical engineers. List goes on. Those are the top 3 most populated types of engineers, by the way. So engineers. Another great group is pilots, okay? Airline pilots, cargo pilots, military pilots, okay? And a lot of military pilots come out of the service and become airline pilots and cargo pilots. They're generally very entrepreneurial. They will often have other businesses on the side. Just get to know some pilots. A lot of them like to do gemstone sales, the wholesaling, like diamonds and rubies and things like that. And they like investing. Let's see, that said teachers. Firemen, policemen, collectively that group of first responders, firemen, policemen make great investors, okay? They're generally action takers. They're not afraid to take action. They know the neighborhoods. They're not afraid to basically roll up their sleeves and sometimes do the dirty work, And also, a lot of times they will tell you it's scary to be a police officer, and they're thinking, gee, I maybe want to do something else with my life, and I better have some investments to back me up. I know several of them. We have one on our team right now. He might have me on tonight. Tony Moore is our team member, and
go Tony.
Yeah, that's it. He's a great guy, and if you've ever met or spoken to Tony, he is the absolute prototype team player. Just an amazing man, So, in any case, I think that's 7, right? Dentists, chiropractors, teachers, engineers, military, pilots, and what am I missing here? Did I get 7?
First responders.
First responders, firemen and policemen, thank you. So just real quick, show of hands, or call out, if you've worked with any people from those 7 groups, particularly investing, doesn't have to be, but would you agree they're generally pretty good people to work with? Anybody have experience with any of those groups? You're Rob. Oh, Rob, that's right. Rob, you're former Air Force, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Son's a Coastie. His wife's a Coastie. I work with a lot of veterans around Charlottesville.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, just a quick suggestion, Rob, absolutely take advantage of it. Create a Facebook page if you don't already have one, a business page, not a personal page, and put in there and use those terms, specializing with real estate investors who are, hairball, active duty, retired, reserve, Air Force, Coast Guard, however you want to do it. Put that out there and we can tweak it over time. You want to play with it, put some things out there and measure the results. But people want to work with people that they're like, and if they recognize you're one of them, and you should definitely promote that, I promise you'll kind of garnish a corner of the market that's all yours, So, yeah. Okay, I think that's the 7 groups. Everybody okay so far? Let me do a quick check on the chat box. Medical professionals. Thanks, Rob. Yep. Great group of military investors are here. Facebook.com groups military real estate investing. How about that? There you go. I would join that group.
Yeah, there's another group, they're called ADPI. It's active duty property investing, I think it is.
Okay.
And I'm on their email list. I get emails from them all the time. They do a lot of house hacking. They've got a great little book out too that I got as well.
Okay.
But
Well, I'll tell you
they
what.
highly encourage military to do house hacking while they're active duty. That way,
Yeah.
when they get out or retire, that they've got a portfolio.
Yeah. Well, on the website, realestatewithgarywilson.com website, when you go into the members area, and you've all probably noticed we changed the format of that. So let me just go do that real quick. Hang on one second. I need to do a share screen. And I'll show you this. Let's see. Here we go. So first you have to log in. I think we're going to log in. Here we go. All right. And first thing you notice is the members area. We no longer call it silver. That was a term from the holdover from the past. We don't need to call it that anymore because we're all members of the same group. So if you go in there, you also notice GIA resources is missing, but only temporarily. I'm going to show you that in a second. We're putting it on the training program page because it's protected resources just for the team members. So I'll show you that in a second. But back here, if you go into, let's see, I was coming to show you marketing tools. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's what I was going to show you. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me show you this.
I have a question, Gary. So today I was looking around the site for our global investment agent resources, and
Yeah.
Since the website has changed, I couldn't find it.
That's what you're saying. So Paul, let me just go ahead and go back there. Paul is moving that to here. It's not under here. It's going to put it right underneath here, underneath member resources, as a login because it's not open to the general public. The resources are just for GIA team members. So he's putting it here. It's just not there yet. He was working on it this afternoon. So it'll be up there probably tomorrow.
And then our gig resources will be there as well?
Correct. Yep. Now it's possible it's already there. Sometimes you have to clear your cache on your computer, right? I haven't done that. It's possible I'm still getting the old version because it's in my cache. So if anybody wants to log in to the members area and see if you see the GIA resources over here underneath member resources, separate tab, it could be already there. I'm just not seeing because I haven't cleared my cache. But that's where we're putting it. So back over here, if you go into the marketing campaigns, okay, every marketing campaign has 3 drip sequences with it for investors, okay? One on wholesaling, one on buying rentals, and one on flipping. So Rob and everybody, I want to show you this so you can see what kind of information you can send to people. Okay, each one of these 3 tabs is very similar, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay. So I'm clicking on the one for flipping, and there it is right there. It's a downloadable Word document. Okay. It's going to take a second. It's loaded with, I don't know, those are more video links. So if you grab one of these links right here, just like I'm doing right now, highlight and copy, okay? And then go into a new browser session and hit the enter key. You get a video, usually 3 minutes long on average, okay? And if you notice, around the perimeters, no marketing, no advertising, nothing. They don't even know who I am. My name's not on here. My phone number's not on here, my emails, nothing's on here. So they're going to associate you receiving this educational video with you. They're going to associate them getting the video from you. And in this particular video, I'm going over an analysis form, property inspection report. So I'm going over how to use it in the video, and they also get the downloadable link for that very form. And the cool thing is, this link is in Word format. So you can even edit yourself and put your name and your number and your email on there. So what I'm getting at is when you have a resource like the Facebook page for military investors, you know, if I was you on a regular basis, I'd make a post, and there's, you know, that email I was showing you, the Word document, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 videos. One a week is 16 weeks of posting, giving them a video to watch and an associated downloadable document, calculator, spreadsheet, things like that. The reason we did it that way is so you can use it, you can post it, and your post won't get flagged because there's no marketing or advertising there. We're not promoting any book or training program. We're not promoting me. We're literally helping you promote yourself, okay? So if you're looking for content to send to people, look no further than your drip campaigns. And every marketing campaign has 3 drips: wholesaling, flipping, and buying rentals. And if you add all those up, you probably got 50 videos and 50 downloads that you can use to brand yourself. They come from you to keep people warmed up and nurture them. So before I get into the marketing content, does everybody understand, or raise your hand if you understand what I just gave you, like the impact, why that's important? So Susan, doesn't that make a lot of sense?
Yes, it's wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, all the heavy lifting's done for you guys, you know, and all you're doing is sending something out there that's already been done for you. So in any case, now there's probably groups. You can find any group you want. Honestly, there's groups for electrical engineers, groups for dentists, groups for teachers, all kinds of groups. If you want to really get close to those people in those groups, I would absolutely select them, join the groups. If you look at my personal Facebook page and look at all the groups I belong to, you will see several hundred dental groups all over the country. I've been to their dinners. I've taken you guys, the agents, when you're in your town, to those dinners, okay, to meet with those dentists who invest. That's, if you're looking for something to do to meet people and attract the right kind of clients, there's nothing better than that. Join their groups. And if you really want to take it to the nth degree, the 10th degree, excuse me, go to their local club, their associations, their websites, sign up for their dinners and go to their dinners, like one a quarter, $40. And last time I did it was with Cedric Farrell in Anaheim. And he walked away with 9 names, emails, and phone numbers, personal ones, right, from the dentist, from one night, one dinner, okay? But the main thing of this whole exercise was to show you, if you're not sure what to send people, absolutely send them information and education. You can't go wrong. It's the most noble thing and honorable thing you can do, and people will learn to know you, like you, and trust you because you're giving them stuff they can use, okay? So far, I saw Susan's hand go up. Anybody else? Does anybody not grasp what I'm going over here? And please be candid. Don't be shy. If you're not sure, don't hold it back. I mean, this is one of the key things you should learn about all this is how to use this stuff to your advantage to attract the right kind of investors. That's what this whole night is all about. Okay. Any comments? Any questions?
Quick question.
Yes.
You told us one time that I think it's Jody posts something every day, 3 things every day that we can just pluck and put on Facebook. Can you remind me how we find that?
Yeah. Okay. So good question. If you go to, now I don't know how this is going to work, guys, because I'm actually on Facebook now broadcasting live. So I'll start another session and see if it works. Let's see. I need to go to facebook.com. Any luck, it'll log me right in there. And what you want to do, Susan, is you want to go to the REIA group page, Real Estate Investor Agent group, like that.
Okay.
And click on that. Okay. And there I am right there. You gotta click on it again. Oops. Here we go. Okay, now if you scroll down, they changed the format of this, but Jody posts these 3 times or 4 times a day. Now here's what's important about these. Some of them are just simply inspirational. They're not anything educational or informational. And the reason is, and Facebook measures everything. So if you do too much of one thing, it can work against you. But more importantly, is where she's getting these posts. We subscribe to a service that tells us which post on Facebook has the greatest results. And we pay for those posts and we use them and post them on this page here, Real Estate Investor Agent Facebook page. Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
If you share these, what it does, it's better to take this and share it. Like you come down here, you would click like, click share, and share it to your page. Now I'm not going to do it because I'm already here, but I could share it to, you know, the Real Estate Investor Agent, Real Estate with Gary Wilson Facebook page. I could share it to there. Okay. I just do a share. And Susan, that's all you do. And for everybody, you can write a little comment in there, right? I mean, you probably should actually, but the more you do that, that post gets a lot more attention, a lot more traction inside of Facebook. It's basically like SEO for Facebook. That's literally all you do. So there's an inspirational post. Here's an informational post, right? Big tech struggles, whatever that article is talking about. She also, she'll post about tonight's class, right? On Mondays. And then here we are, here's an educational post. So here's the 3, inspirational first, informational second, educational third. And you should generally spread those out throughout the day. Now there's a lot of logic out there that says, do them all in the afternoon, do them all in the morning, do them all at night. I can tell you over a lot of years, we've never seen any real market difference. We just put them out there morning, afternoon, evening, and we do just fine. So in any case, there you go. So good question, Susan. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So do I just put that on my regular Facebook? Do I put it on my GIA Facebook page? What would you recommend for that?
So what I would recommend is put it on your business. Everybody should have a personal page and a business page. I would put these on your business page because the purpose is to attract more business traffic, people who want to invest and things like that. Okay. So
Thank you, Gary.
You're very welcome. Yeah. Now,
Eric, can you put the link to this group in the chat, please?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Can you put the link to this group in the chat, please?
Yes, let me do that.
I'm trying to find it. I thought I was already a member, but I can't see it on here right now. I was trying to look it up.
Yeah, you should be able to. This page is not restricted to just the team members. Anybody who's an investor agent or has an interest in that can certainly be on the page. Let's see. Let me do all panelists attendees. And there you go. Thank you, Melanie, for asking for that. Yep. Let's see. Rob says, when did you get the resource you were showing earlier? I went to rewgw.com, signed in and went to resources, but did not find this there. So Rob, let me go back to the page.
Hey, Gary,
Yes.
what did you say? You said inspiration, education, and then what?
Oh, inspirational post first.
Yeah.
Then informational, like an article, okay? And then educational.
Information in the middle. Okay.
Yeah. Now you could mix those up, but I generally found that inspirational quotes first usually work better earlier in the day, you know? So,
Okay.
yeah. So Rob, is this what you were talking about? The, I'm in the marketing tab in the resource area. When I went to the marketing tab, let me just go to the marketing tab again. Hang on one second. So I went to the marketing tab, and then all I did is I clicked on the very first campaign, which happened to be booklet. So is that what you're referring to, Rob, or was it the
one where you had the flipping?
Yeah. So what you do is if you go down here to the content for nurturing your prospects. These are called drips. I just clicked on this flipping for profits without the pain, and it brought up the Word document.
Okay.
And the Word document has the links for the videos in there.
Okay. So it's under the marketing tab then.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And then in that video, let me see if it'll let me bring it back up here. In the video landing page, where's that link for downloading the associated document? So it's an excellent way to provide content and keep your guys engaged. So in any case, now, since I was there, one of the best ways to attract the right kind of investors is to create a booklet, okay? This is the very first campaign. It's first alphabetically, but it's also ironically one of the first things you should do in any no matter what stage of the business you're in. Everybody should have a booklet campaign going every single month. Think of a booklet as like a newsletter, but a little more professional, a little more education formatted for educational purposes. So in other words, if you go to see a financial planner for stocks, bonds, mutual funds, as soon as you get in the door, you've read their brochure, they sent you a postcard, whatever. When you come visit them, they're gonna give you a booklet to walk away with, okay? The booklet's gonna have in there investing results for stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. We got the idea from financial planners to do a booklet, but for real estate. And I've got, thank goodness, virtual library. Let's go to, here it is, called booklets. And I keep booklets that people send me because I'm constantly editing them, look at them, reviewing them.
Love it.
Yeah, these are great. So these are some of your booklets in here, okay? And if you look, here's one for Betty. There's one for Willie down here. Let's see, Investor Booklet NB. Can't remember what that was, but so if you pull these up, look, Tom's Flips book, July 2020. That's Tom Silvestri. Why don't we go ahead and pull up? Here's New York version 2. Actually, where's the one? I had one for dentists I wanted to show you guys. I'm not seeing it. Here's one for engineers. Let's grab this one. So, by the way, we give you the template in the marketing campaign. So I'll go back to that and finish up that in a second, but I just want to give an example of what we're talking about. Okay. It's closed while you had some pages open. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but we're going to keep going here. Okay. All right, here you go. Does that, you guys like that picture? Yeah.
I don't like the KW.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hey now.
Yeah, this is Sunset Corridors, and I forget exactly where that is. I'm trying to get a better view of this. I'm actually not sure. We'll find out in a second. Oh, this is up near Portland. That's where it is. So Jorge's an old student of ours going back a lot of years, probably 5-6 years. And he's a former techie guy, okay? And the cover sheet should have a picture reflecting your area and your contact information. So the one you're going to get in the campaign is a Word document, and you just edit it to reflect you. Now, he put in here, dear friend. I'm going to tell you guys, if I was you, this is what I did. I made each booklet personalized. I would send them out individually, and each one would have the recipient's first name, okay? I know it's going to take more time, but it is worth it, okay? So when I emphasize something like that and shake my head up and down, that means it's a good thing. I got better results that way. In any case, and he talks a little bit about himself in here and the real estate group he's in. So for those of you who run your own investment group, you would absolutely reference your investor group in here. You know, GIG Lynchburg, Global Investor Group, Lynchburg, Virginia. Cross-pollinate. So use your booklet to help promote your global investor group, okay? He just had a pension for servicemen and women. That's what he wanted to serve. and engineers. That was basically his thing there. So he put that in there. In other words, it's really not about him. Who is this about?
About the investor.
That's it. It's about the recipient. Yep. And then, and only then does he say their principles, it was really a real estate investment group, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I generally learned over the years to talk more about the person I'm sending it to and what's important to them. Put in there, you know, to talk about the investment group, talk about the tools, talk about what's happening in the marketplace, and less about me. The shorter I made these and the less it talked about me, the higher the response rate went up. Okay. Inevitably, most realtors, we would just got to tell them we're ABR, we're CRS, we're number one. But I'm here to tell you, it will impress some people, but for the most part, when you remove all that self-talk, you'll get high response rates. Okay. In any case, you always give them some type of a call to action. Look, he gives them a freebie here, a gimme. fitsmallbusiness.com, rental property tax benefits deductions. Pretty slick, huh? So you give them something like that. They have a reason to click on that, and then he gives his contact information. Okay. Any case, table of contents, pretty straightforward. All right. Then you give him a case study, and this is one I give you. It's in that booklet, and it's an example of a duplex I used to own when I bought it, when I sold it, and what the profit was, and everything in between. So Jorge's given his own example here. Okay. It's a more current, recent example. So you want to give an example of a recent investment. If you don't have one yourself, you can easily get one from the MLS, or you can get one from me. I've got hundreds of them. Just ask me, I'll send you the spreadsheets. I do give one in the template, the template that I give you in the marketing campaign. Brief description of some of the terminology, just help to give people a little bit of education there. Then we go over the numbers, okay? Percentage gain, dollars gain, all kinds of good stuff. We give them of course, the tax deductions, the depreciation, all that kind of stuff. He actually went kind of long on this one. This might be a little bit too long, but the bottom line is, let me go back up here. You want to finish this up by tying your case study or your story or example back to the original intro letter that talked about servicemen and women who were like also engineers, right? And he made the wise move of saying, this is part of my story. Now I love my freedom and independence, and I thank God every day for real estate, because every time I buy a little piece of real estate, I also buy a little piece of freedom. God bless America. God bless you for reading this article. Okay. Now, I know some people today might think that's politically incorrect. I disagree. I've had clients from 13 different countries. Does anybody here ever thought about going to Spain to invest, or going to Japan to invest? Where do people go to invest? They come right here to America. Okay. So I say we promote America, but what do I know? In any case, selected family multifamily properties currently available. So they give samples of properties from the local MLS. Now you might be thinking right now, well, Gary, we don't have anything on our MLS. There's actually MLSs where there's fewer listings than there are agents. In fact, Tom Zacklars and I were together for dinner last month for my mom in Madison County, Virginia. What's the Tom, like 20 listings total, something like that? Crazy. So in any case, you may have to go back in time, and personally, I would not give active listings. This is why. I used to put active listings in there, and by the time the booklet would go out, people would call me back. Of course, the properties are sold, under contract, whatever. So what I did is I would use examples of properties that are already sold, and I would say, here's an example of what's possible. And that actually worked better. Here's an example of what's possible. Then a call to action at the end would say, let's set up an appointment, and I'll show you what's available based on based on their criteria, okay? So in the case, samples of properties, that's the next category. Now let's see if what he didn't do, this is an older version. I wouldn't put that in there, by the way. Oh, there's a spreadsheet. comparing all the properties, right? He compares the properties in a spreadsheet format. So you can rotate this. I guess I could go ahead and do that here. There you go. So compare the income expense side by side. And there's all kinds of charts that let you do this. If you go to the Tools tab under our resources, click on Tools. There's a couple of spreadsheets. One of them has multiple columns. You can put in up to, I think, 5 or 6 properties. You can use that, save it, then also save it as a PDF and put that in your booklet, okay? Very easy to do. Now let me go back here. Okay, then he talks about the Portland market, all right? And the Portland market's a little bit crazy right now, especially after last summer, but at the end of the day, there's something he's missing there, okay? He has a very mild, I guess you could loosely call this a call to action. Please take the first step and call today. Let me have some volunteers here. What would be a better call to action or a what we call a tandem call to action? 2 things we can offer people.
I don't know, but I love what you just said. Here's an example of what's possible. Call me and we'll see what's currently available. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I used to use. But you know what you can do today, guys? If you have a QR code, and everybody here should have one page you can link to search for properties, and another page you can link to get free home evaluation, I would put those 2 in there. Down below here, after this right here, come down here with all this blank space and put in there for a free home evaluation or a free property evaluation on your investor property, click here. And that's if you're looking to sell. If you're looking to buy, you would say something for a free search of properties, no obligation, click here, okay? That way you get everybody, either they're looking to buy or sell. So I would put those 2, give them a link to click on. Way better than give me a call tomorrow, you know? So everybody with me on that? Yeah. But this booklet, guys, I'm not sure whose survey result brought this up. But this is one of the things I did early on, and I kept doing it month after month, year after year, and never got anybody saying, hey, would you stop sending that to me? Never happened, you know? In fact, what I did was after they got 3 of them, I would start calling them. In fact, you know what else I did? I would go around in person. If I was showing properties in one part of town and there was 3 dentist offices nearby, I'd stop at all 3 of them. Hi, I'm Gary Wilson. I'm the one that's been sending you that booklet. You know, what do you think? And in most cases, they would be like, oh, well, I did, you know, stumbling or whatever. I'd say, look, don't worry about it. How about if I just do a search just for you based on your criteria in your area? Doesn't cost a thing. I can whip it out tonight in 15 minutes. And usually they would say, okay, fair enough. I would say, great. What's your home number? I need to call you to get some of your information so I know specifically what to look for. Okay, that's exactly what I said. It did not work all the time, but it worked more times than a lot of other things I did. So remember that. What you're trying to do is make it easier for them. And you know, if they stumble or fumble or bumble or whatever, just say, look, no worries. I'll just set up a search for you, specifically for you based on your criteria in your area. Okay, is that fair? And fair enough, good, great. I need to call you tonight to get some basic information from you so I know exactly what to go look for. And that's how you get the appointment, okay? So real quick, that right there is probably one of the most prolific campaigns I ever did to attract people. It wasn't until later that I started doing the workshop, which is now the gig, Global Investor Group. And I tell you, I use this to promote the gigs, okay? I'm gonna give you a few more pointers. Let me go back to the, I'll keep this up, and I'm gonna go back to the website. Let me drop this off here. Here we go. Okay. This video is about an hour-long description of how you do the booklet. This one right here is the written version of that. It says PDF text version of webinar. You can read it if you want or watch it online. The next one is the actual booklet itself. So you click on it, it downloads a Word document for you. in this one, I want to show you, this is the actual checklist you follow, okay? So if you bring that up, it's literally step-by-step instructions from start to finish on how you actually do the booklet. Complete step-by-step, 20 some odd steps. You always determine your goals first. You determine your niche group. When you do stuff like this, it should definitely be niche oriented. So like Rob, you could clearly gear this towards the military folks. Every month you could take out the photo, put in a picture of an F-18 Hornet, right? Or F-22, excuse me, that's the new one. And then the next month put in an Abrams tank. The next month put in, anything you want, but anything that speaks to them. Better yet, you might even want to put in there a picture of a local base with the marquee out front. Okay. In any case, determine your goals, determine your niche, copy the template, and decide to build your booklet to attract either flippers or landlords. So this is something I learned too. You can put in examples of flips and examples of rentals. But I found out later on, it's actually better to do one version with flips and one version with rentals and do what's called a split test. I would send one batch out this month, the next month send out the other batch. And not only did I get to compare response rates, I also knew who was more interested in flips and who was more interested in rentals. It was it just stumbled just to one of those crazy ideas I came up with. And what I knew then was from that point on, I would feed that group to rentals and I'd feed the other group to flips. Does that make sense, guys? Really highly targeted stuff, okay? In any case.
Gary, I have a question. If you developed your booklet for a specific target group, and then when you get a client, can you load these up into KV Core like a drip campaign to send them out?
Yep.
Have you done that? Okay.
Yep, that's actually part of it. If you scroll down here, and that was a new addition going back about a year. Historically, we would send these out in the mail once a month, okay? But now with all these great CRMs out there where you can do mass emails that are sort merged, you can put in there, oh, by the way, let me give you a tip, guys. Instead of putting it as an attachment, save it to Google Drive and put the Google Drive link in there because it's less likely to get flagged by the email servers and put it in the spam. So okay. Google Drive link is better than an actual attachment. Just please write that down. You'll find you'll have a much higher response rate as opposed to an attachment.
Gary, do you get equally good response to an email as to a booklet, paper booklet?
Generally speaking, the physical booklet going in the mail gave me high response rates, but Susan, it was partly because I also followed up with a phone call and or stopped by their place of business. Okay.
So you do the same thing with the email.
Yeah, the email though is much easier. No cost. The email version doesn't cost a dime. You know? Yeah.
Sonia, David just showed us in KV Core last time that there is you can put in hashtags very easily when you set up a contact. So do that. You can do a hashtag group. He said, do not do a hashtag when you're naming your group. Just name the group and it'll come out as a hashtag. And that will show up when you search for your client.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom Z, for putting that out there. I'm sorry. I know there's been questions coming in and I haven't been able to catch up. RIA group, Tom put in. So if you go to the marketing workshop campaign, that's the link for it. And Gina says, how many booklets were you sending out monthly on average? So Gina, when I first started, I would tell people to start with 25 booklets to a very tight niche group, like the 25 dentists around where I was, for example. It wasn't until later when we started sending out big batches of them, 100, 200 in a batch. But what I found out was this: we want to serve everybody, but the challenge is it's hard to serve everybody. There's a famous saying from Ronald Reagan says, nobody can help everybody, but everybody can help somebody. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna help a couple of somebodies. So I targeted a small group of people. And then only after that point that I start expanding. So for example, with dentists, you've got family dentists, you've got pediatric dentists, you got orthodontists, you got maxillofacial surgeons that are related to that. You know, and with military, we said earlier, you got like at least what 15 different groups of people. You can target little subgroups. So I would start, so Rob, I would start with Air Force, because that's what you are. Start with Air Force retired, and then add Air Force active duty, add Air Force reserves, get that up and running, and then later on you can add the other branches of service, okay? So famous saying from Gary Keller, learn small and then grow big. Learn on a small scale. If you're learning on a small scale, instead of picking a random audience, pick a niche audience. Okay, the riches are in the niches, okay? That's a Dan Kennedy saying. The riches are in the niches, then you can expand. So once you got a lot of people singing your praises, you know, the dentists, the teachers, the retired Air Force guys, believe me, all the other people will listen. Because of all those groups, would you agree? Generally people, they're pretty much well respected in our society, the groups of people I mentioned. Yeah. Who wouldn't want to listen to a dentist or a teacher or engineer? I mean, they're smart people, you know? So any case, looks like the answer is 25, yeah. So I would start there, but make sure you got a really tight niche, Gina, because otherwise, if it's a mixture, you won't get as good results. Now, somebody mentioned earlier the medical fields. I do want to touch on this for just a second. The doctors, you have to break them down into subgroups. The surgeons are very difficult to work with, not their personalities. They are so busy. They have gatekeepers at their home. Their spouse is the gatekeeper. At the office, the secretary is the gatekeeper. You'll almost never get to the surgeon unless you know them personally. Okay, very difficult. They also don't have a lot of time. They're not going to have time to go look at properties, okay? The guy that fixed my back, Matt Alcati, he owned the practice, and he would come out and meet me. We go look at laundromats and car washes and stuff like that together. He liked buying real estate that generated cash, right? So in any case, he was an exception. In most cases, I had more success with the doctors who had more regular hours, like podiatrists. What's the not the cosmetic doctor, the like dermatologist, sorry, yeah. Dermatologists, regular office hours for the most part. Pediatrics, mostly regular office hours. And clinical doctors who worked in like an oncology clinic, right? Regular hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. What that meant was they were more easily accessible in the evenings and on weekends. So just keep that in mind. Surgeons, yep, they make a lot of money and so can you, but it's very difficult to break through that barrier. Other doctors are much easier. Nurses, I tried working with them, wonderful people. In my family of 5 brothers and sisters, 3 are nurses. Is anybody here have no nurses personally, have nurses in your family or friends that work in hospitals? What do they do when they get home?
They do nothing.
Yeah, they sleep. Yeah, so they don't want to go look at property. So nurses just didn't work. I was hoping because they need to get out of there. They want to, they're like stressed. Like, boy, if I can retire, I do it, but they don't have time. So in any case, I wanted to cover that briefly. All right, now that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. There's one more thing I'll go over before we call it a day. And it literally is the workshops, guys, those good old fashioned investor workshops. Now, if you're not on the team, just do the old fashioned local version. All right. But I'm going to encourage everybody on the Global Investor Agent team, you should definitely do the network version, the gig network version. And here's a couple reasons why. Number one is you all become members of each other's gigs, right? Participants. And 32, 40, soon probably be 50 gigs by the time we're done. That means you got access to groups of people all over the country who invest in real estate. Everybody see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
They find you right on that map. Remember the map that shows everybody who's, let me just go there real quick. I think I've got it up. No, I don't. Let me bring that up here. So groups, okay. So everybody should have a profile on this next screen. Hopefully it's going to pop up. There it is. Okay, it's loading now. Let me close that out. All these little green teardrops are investor agents. These houses are properties for sale. The red ones are vendors. We just started adding vendors on. Here's the key here. You have to be an investor agent to have a profile here, okay? And it's closed. No other agent can have profile here. Only you guys can. But the investors, it's open. This is open to the world now. Any investor can bring this up, even if they're not part of a gig. They can open this up and find you if they want to invest in, Texas or California or Arizona or New York or wherever. What's unique though is the global investor group participants. Those 2,800 beautiful people. Now 2,900. Let me go bring that up real quick. Okay. This is constantly being shown to them. What's interesting is if you just listed a duplex in Newport News, Virginia, you put that out there now to the entire network and all 2,900, whatever it is, we'll see here in a second, 2,903 investors will now see you just put a duplex up there for sale in Newport News, Virginia. You think you might get that thing sold pretty quickly? Yep. So do that. Plus, it's push out marketing. You're obviously going to have a local following, but you're going to be known amongst all the investors, amongst all the investor groups around the country. Okay. So let me pick. I'm going to pick on Lisa Sears. You still on? Lisa, let me see if can do
Yeah,
this.
I'm on.
So when you and I've talked about this recently, and sometimes it's hard to really quantify the real benefit of doing this in a network. But what I just described, think about some of the transactions you've recently gotten. Can you see this really helping you get much broader exposure from around the country?
Yeah, as you were talking about it, that's what I was thinking.
Yep. It's push out marketing. And also because they can find you on that map and they can go seek you out and find you, that means that transaction comes to you directly. You don't pay anybody a referral fee on those ones. Those guys find you directly. That's the other reason you want to put that out there. So, and I will tell you guys, I know I've kind of been beating this horse a lot lately, and I will tell you, it takes a while sometimes. Some of the folks from the group here have been lucky. They started hitting right off the first meeting. Mo and Oksana, seems like every time they have a meeting, they get a new client or a new deal or somebody joining their team. It's not always like that. Mine wasn't like that. But fortunately, I had somebody like me who was persistent and determined and relentless and would not let me quit. And I kept doing it. And sure enough, it started paying off months later. And and about a year later, I could have lived off that one. It's technically it's a marketing campaign. We just run it like it's a business, okay? And minimum 6 transactions a month. It took a year to get there. But are you willing to put in what's worth to do this for a year, once a month, to get yourself in a position to do 6 transactions a month? Would that be worth it?
Yes.
Amen. And I'm telling you, the way this economy is going, guys, I can't emphasize this enough. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but my philosophy is this: why take a chance? Why not prepare now? Prepare now. Let's say the economy keeps booming along for 10 more years. Is having an investor group going to hurt you or help you?
Help.
Going to help you. Let's say the
I think
economy.
it'll be fun.
Yeah. Let's say the economy tanks. Is having an investor group going to hurt you or help you?
Help.
Going to help you. There's no way you can lose with this, But because it's so powerful, it takes more effort. And I'm telling you, man, just roll up your sleeves, strap on your boots, and do it. We've got several groups. We're meeting tomorrow night. Is the May East Coast Zoom for all the groups in the East. And I know the couple other groups from the Central Time Zone are joining in. I don't think we have any on Wednesday night, unless I think Sean's going to join Mo and Oksana. And for Brianna, we should get yours going for June. Okay, I'm going to help you with that in Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, and then because I think it's too soon for this week. And then on the nothing in the mountain region right now, we will hopefully add some people in Utah and Arizona here shortly. But then Pacific Coast, we've got several groups up and running. That's going to be Thursday night. It'll be 7 Pacific time. And as of this week, have you guys met or talked to John Perry? He's new to the team. Who here got messages from John Perry today?
It's on a group chat.
Yep. What did he just do yesterday in Hawaii on the Big Island? He launched his first investor group. Yep. So we got a group in Hawaii. I don't know what day they're going to meet because they're 6 hours behind me. And I don't know if I'll be able to teach a class at 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll have to find out. So I think I got to move to Hawaii. What do you guys think? I should just move to Hawaii. That'd make it easy. Solve that problem.
Or at least
Good plan.
property there.
Will you guys come visit me if I move to Hawaii?
Sure.
Stay at my place. I got a hammock and everything, you know?
It'll be a tax deductible trip.
That's exactly right. So in any case, he's also launching one in Pittsburgh. And I want to give you guys a heads up here. John and I actually go back a lot of years. And I'm so grateful for him to be on the team because he brings so much experience and just his heart, his passion. So I'm going to put this out there for you to keep in mind. One of the ultimate goals is to launch the Healing House Foundation, and became a lot more real last summer when we talked about the gigs. And now with John on board, we're going to use his 501(c) Kingdom Development for Healing House Foundation. And we're actually already able to take donations already. We're moving fast, I'm telling you. But what I want you to keep in mind is talk about the Healing House Foundation in your gigs, because ultimately what we're going to ask our investors to do is contribute 10% of only one investment, in net profit that is, of one investment, to help each community purchase a healing house. I'm going to ask you guys to contribute 10% annually just of your gig profits, not your regular commissions, just the ones from gig. Okay, we'll keep it isolated to that. But 10% net profit for the year. Because remember, you're going to sell training programs in your gigs. All those profits, you can take part of that, contribute to the Healing House Foundation. And everything I get at the network level, I'm going to contribute 100% to the Healing House Foundation. And John's going to do the same thing, by the way. Well, we're going to launch that in Pittsburgh as a prototype. We're going to go through the whole effort of dealing with the city's property tax department to get properties that are in they hold. They're basically abandoned properties. We're going to work with Habitat for Humanity. We're going to be applying for grants. So we're going to do all the legwork to build the prototype for that. So anything contractually, any agreements we need, any process or procedure, we'll have laid down for you to go forward. I just want to let you know that it's alive and well, and it's coming to a train station near you. Okay. Ultimately, the end game is to have a house in every location that you determine how is used for the local community. Could be for any charitable nonprofit purpose where housing is needed, and housing is needed everywhere. So the whole principle is we earn our livings from real estate. Let's please give back to the community that we profit from, and help some other people who might not be as lucky as we are live in a decent place, you know, even if it's only on a temporary basis. You can certainly use that and be proud about it and promote it. Okay. Can you imagine you have a gig group running, say it's a year from now, 2 years from now, and you have a healing house for the community that you guys work together to acquire through your investors and through the network? Do you think that would help attract other really good qualified investors, professionals, business owners? Amen. So don't be afraid to use it to your advantage. It's a good cause. Use it. You serve first, do the healing house first, right? Serve first and you shall prosper as a result. There's a lot more advantages and benefits to that. But I'm telling you what, nothing will make you feel better than helping somebody else. You know, you just can't put a price tag on it. And we have the ability to do that. Everybody here is capable of doing that. So in any case, I went a little bit long. I apologize. But on the gigs are one of the best ways to attract the right kind of investors. You can determine that by using the booklet to get them there. Put that booklet, put that link on, get the link from Google Drive, put the booklet out there on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, okay? You know, you could even, like what we're gonna do, we're gonna record the first healing house. We're gonna talk, John and I are gonna record the whole thing. We're gonna build a YouTube series out of it, put it out there, And there's a chance we may be able to get have a television segment based on that. There's some folks I know from the past out on the West Coast that are in, they're producers and directors and things like that. And there was a project at one point. You probably don't know her name. The lady named Astrid Neal was one of the writers, and they were going to get who's the guys? I haven't had a television in 6 years, so you got to forgive me. Ryan Seacrest, right? Was going to be the host, and they're going to show celebrities and some of what they do to give back to the community. And one of the ideas was help them provide housing for needy people. And that my idea came around way before 25 years ago, but I know the people involved in that project, so there may be a possibility that we could get that showcased. Well, that would really help the cause, you know? So in any case, everything's possible when you ask for it, okay? But one more thing, and I apologize. I know I keep saying that. I said one more thing like 5 times now. You guys haven't called me on it. Okay. All right. We all have spheres. We have databases of contacts. Man, I'm telling you, if it's not even on our list of marketing campaigns, actually it is. It's in Build Your Database campaign. Man, you guys contact your sphere on a regular basis. Every day you should be calling. You should have three tiers: inner circle, the people you know and love the most and know and love you the most. Next one's like friends and acquaintances and golf buddies and things like that, fishing buddies, right? Former military comrades. And third is the people who it's a name recognition. That's about it. So that group will be the biggest. You should call somebody from that group every day, maybe 2 a day. The middle group, you should call people there. The frequency should be outer group is at least once a year. The middle group is at least once a quarter, and the inner group is at least once a month. And if you think about it, it's natural anyways. I mean, don't you talk to somebody you love at least once a month, you know, uncle, aunt, cousin, people from church, people from work, neighbors. And I'm gonna put this out there. I used to be hesitant to do that. I didn't want to bother the people who were my friends and relatives. And it finally occurred to me after people like Gina hit me over the head a bunch of times, former mentors and coaches saying, you got it all wrong, Wilson. If you don't let them know what you're doing, they won't know. They won't ever use you. Do you want them going to some other agent out there that might not have their best interest in mind? Or would you rather work with somebody like you who you know you're going to do the right thing for them? Okay. And that really struck a chord with me. And then he also said, by the way, you're an investor guy, right? He said, think about it. Most people in the world who have any kind of income want to invest and preserve their capital and make more money, right? They don't all buy stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Some of them buy real estate. In fact, a lot of them. He said, do you know in your family who wants to invest in real estate? And I said, none of them. He said, can you prove it? And I said, no. He said, ask them. And sure enough, I did, right? And I got a couple takers. Then I went to my Boy Scout troop and talked to all the dads. That was my Boy Scout. The other dads were the first people to come to my first investor meeting, right? 6 of them, and 2 of them ended up investing. By the way, it took a while, but they did. So what I'm getting at is this: don't think of yourself as just a realtor. Think of yourself as an advisor, a consultant, a real estate investment advisor. Okay, I'd write that one down. Real estate investment advisor. All right. Does that all of a sudden feel a lot better? Yep. I'm a real estate investment advisor. All right. You've got the tools, you got the strategies, you got the resources, you got the training programs, you got the coaching. Absolutely. Just take it all in and process it and be that person, right? And serve the ones you love. It all starts with on the inside. Success is an inside job. And it goes out in layers. And the first layer is the people that know you and love you the most, okay? And I promise you, they want you to succeed. And they'll tell you if they have no interest in investing, but at least bring them to a class. Give them one of the books give them some of the calculators and spreadsheets. You can give your clients the books, the premier books. So let me show you. If you go back to the website, marketing, let's see here, books, click on here. Whoop. All right, see, there's members books, premier books, and white papers. White papers are things I wrote on tax strategies, hiring a virtual assistant, things like that. Members books, let's go to members books are the freebies. They're free to everybody. You don't have to be on the team or anything like that. These are things like, look at some of these, they're pretty obvious what they are. You can rebrand these. The content is considered public domain content, okay? You can write your own books, literally. Premier ebooks is what I'm getting to here. These are the ones I wrote, okay? You guys all have the right to download these and share them with your prospects. An entire book, usually about 150 pages, on buying rentals, flipping properties, property management, wholesaling. So my suggestion is, I used to print these off, by the way, and keep boxes of them in my trunk, and I would hand sign them. Here's my book. You can't hand sign it, but just say, here's a book for my mentor. He said it's okay for me to give it to you. But given this free content, the point is, start with the people in your inner circle, and I'm going to ask everybody to commit to that, okay? And promise me that we have our next one-on-one, you're gonna have called at least 10 people from your inner sphere, right? At least 10 people from the middle sphere, and at least 10 people from the outer sphere over the next, let's call it 3 weeks, okay? All right, and I'm telling you this, I'd be shocked if you didn't walk away with at least a couple of appointments and possibly a listing or a new buyer client, okay? So let me get some, let me stop the screen share here. Can I get any comments or questions on that, the whole last piece on using your sphere? Does anybody, I see smiles, who's nervous about contacting your sphere? Anybody feel hesitant? Who's gonna do it? Raise your hands. Who's gonna actually do it? Here we go. Okay, good. All right.
Gary, I hate to say it, but I have another question.
Yep.
So you told us when we started these gigs, and I'm just starting my first one, thanks to my friends who are doing it with me. But how did you say that we collect the email addresses and ask them to be part of our groups?
Okay, so a couple of things. I had Beverly set up Zoom links for each time zone, so everybody in that time zone could collectively get together to do a joint gig session. So Beverly's going to send out the registration list. Today she would have sent out the one for the East Coast, Eastern time zone, right? So you'll know who registered for the Zoom, and you can remind them. They'll get reminders automatically anyways, but you know who to follow up with, things like that. Now, if you're talking about your own database, you would just send a booklet out to your database, for example, and invite them to the workshop, or just simply invite them to the workshop. Just say, I'm helping to put on a class Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We've been friends a long time, or if you've been one of my favorite cousins forever, it's free. Why don't you attend? I'd love to have you there for moral support and that you help cheer me along. This was a first for me. And tell them just like that. You're soliciting, you're asking for their help, asking for assistance. Now, I'm not sure if I answered the question because I'm not sure.
So basically, when they sign up for the group, the meeting, then I get their email address from the registration, so I know who came.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you won't get it from Meetup. Meetup is a good organizational and tracking tool. It's not a good marketing and promotional tool. Facebook is much better at marketing, promoting than Meetup, but we don't track and we don't, coordinate and organize on Facebook. That all has to be done pretty much manually by you. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if Christina Coleman's on tonight. Let me see if I see her. I don't see her. She's really leading the charge for the Eastern time zone folks. She's actually calling people. I'm telling you, this is the stuff it takes, guys. I would text people when I got up and running after about the third month and I got my first 2 transactions. I would tell everybody. I would text them, I'd call them, I'd email them, and I was relentless. But that group grew to 200 people by the end of the year. It took me a while to get the guts to do it. But once I had that first transaction, it was 2 at a time, by the way. I was like, my boss was right. He told me stick with it. Thank goodness I did. And the next day, a third guy came in, by the way, too, and bought another property. But I needed that transaction to give me the confidence to start reaching out to more people. I was like, man, this stuff really works. What I'm suggesting is don't wait to that point. Get grassroots on it now. Get guerrilla marketing on this now. Call people, text people, whatever it takes. I promise you, you're going to get transactions from this, and you probably already be part of, you'll find yourself being part of investment deals too. They'll ask you. So the whole point of a lot of discussion is you've got to be relentless, really be passionate about it, be persistent. And it's one of those things, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. It'll pay you big dividends down the road, So let's see. Shirley says she sent a voice message today via Messenger asking 10. Good. That's perfect. I never could figure out how to do that thing. How do you create you get the phone call and it's a recorded message. Does KV Core do that, Shirley? Or is that something you did on your own?
I did that. I just went into my phone and recorded a message, and then I just sent it through Messenger to family and close friends that I knew.
I gotcha. Okay.
That's how I did that. I haven't tried through KV Core. I know there's a way, I think you have to pay. You can record actually a video and send it.
I think we have 10 free every month, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, you're right. You do get 10 free.
Yeah. What I like about it is you can text from there and it records your outgoing message in the contact information, their like comments section. And then when they respond to you, you get that message recorded too, automatically. It's the craziest system I've ever seen, and I've had all of them over the years, top producer, this thing's pretty powerful, So, hey guys, my voice is just about shot. So I probably should get going, but this has been a good session. And I hope this helped you an awful lot,
Thank
Good.
you.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Hey, Teresa, can I send the message you sent me to Brianna? She's on the call here. Brianna Latham, remember you sent me?
Sure.
Yeah, I just told her about today. That was a heartwarming message. I mean, that was awesome,
Oh, she's an awesome lady. I
Yep.
think that's just like I said, she's a hero in my book.
Yeah.
you guys are so sweet.
Yeah. Well, she's on fire, that's for sure. So, yeah. Gina taught her everything she knows.
Well, good going.
There you go. Okay, guys, I'm going to hit the road here. I hope you have an awesome week, everybody. I'm going to try to log in as many gigs as I can throughout the week. I've got another zoning hearing Thursday night, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to do the West Coast one or not. We'll find out. So kind of a crazy time with these zoning boards, but we'll win. We're going to go out there. We're going there guns a-blazing. So, okay. I'll see you on either tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday, and definitely next Monday and next Wednesday. Oh, next Wednesday. Invite all of your prospects to the GIA team launch next Wednesday. This is where I do all the heavy lifting. You get to bring people in and all that. And then next Thursday, for the gig leaders, we get back together to review the results of this week's gigs. Okay? Sound good?
All
And I'll give you the weekend off. How about that?
right.
All right. Okay. This time it's for real, guys.